this ChemResponder special feature webinar is treating chemical SITREPs and the HAZMAT Incident Database. A few notes about chemical SITREPs before we dive into some of the functionality. The intention behind the SITREPs, or situation reports, was to provide users the means to rapidly capture incident information without having to create a full-fledged event. So in part for that reason, compared to other data types in CBRNResponder, SITREPs are unique in that they can be created outside of events at the organization level. SITREPs can also be created within your events, where they're treated just like any other data type, like your chemical readings, spectra, observations, and those other data types. We'll start by walking through organization level SITREPs. So again, these are SITREPs that you can create outside of any specific event context with the intention to, again, give the end user a way to capture incident information without having to go through the process of creating a full event. So these organization level SITREPs can be created from both the mobile application and the website. As we previously talked about, you may want to create one of these organization SITREPs to capture any incident information without having to go through the steps of creating an event. If an event is created later on for this response, you can associate the initial SITREP with that event, and I will show you how to do that in a little bit. So we'll start with the mobile application. And from the mobile application, you can create one of these organization SITREPs. So you'll kick open the side menu by clicking on the menu button in the upper left corner. And from there, you'll click Chemical SITREPs. Your Chemical SITREPs list will appear. In this case, for this device, there haven't been any SITREPs that have been created. You can click Create in the upper right-hand corner to start your SITREP, and that'll open a blank SITREP form for you. There is another way to quickly get to that Create SITREP form. So in the upper right-hand corner of your home screen on the mobile application, you have a Create button there, and you can choose to create either an event or a chemical SITREP in this case. From there, you can begin filling out the SITREP fields. Most of these fields are optional, so you can go through and fill out what's relevant, what makes sense for you to be adding as you go through the form. The top section is weather information, so temperature, humidity, wind, any of that sort of thing you want to add. You can add identified chemicals here as well. It will draw just from the chemical table that we have in ChemResponder. Any medical impact to the public or other responders, again, all optional to add. You have a couple fields for free text narrative. So if you want to summarize the response actions taken or just an overall summary of the event, you have those free text fields at your disposal. And then the bottom section here on the right side is some details about the organization that you want to log the SITREP under. So you might belong to multiple organizations in ChemResponder. So this is going to allow you to select which of those organizations you want to file this SITREP under. You also have a sharing mode. So SITREPs can be shared with your partner organizations in ChemResponder, but you can choose to just keep it internal to your organization, in which case you choose My Organization only. There is a network-wide sharing option as well if you want to share it with all users in ChemResponder. And then the data point category pertains to whether this is an actual real-world emergency response, if it's an exercise or drill, a non-emergency response, a routine monitoring event, a special event, or just a testing training SITREP. A couple final things at the bottom of the form. Of course, you have the option to attach photos or documents, again, just like any other data type in the system. You can capture SITREPs on indoor, again, common to all the data types, and then the very bottom section there, the typical metadata, again, for any data type. You can verify who is collecting the SITREP, when it was taken, and the location for the SITREP. After saving the form, it'll appear in the SITREPs list with a pending upload status. Once the form saves to the server, that status will change to upload. And as is the case, again, with any data type in CBRNResponder, this means SITREPs can be recorded and saved in an offline environment. Those records will cache locally to your device. Once you've got connection back, they'll sync up to the server. And again, that's true of any data type that you collect with the mobile application. Any of your saved forms can be reopened for editing. So you can click on the record. It'll bring you to the form. In the upper right-hand corner, you have an edit button that'll open the form back up for you so you can make changes if appropriate. You can also view your SITREPs on the mobile application map. So again, this is a new feature that we introduced with the launch of ChemResponder a couple of years ago, this concept of a map that sits outside of any specific event. So to access that map, again, I'm going to my side navigation in the mobile application, clicking my menu button. I'm selecting map. And from there, you'll be able to see your organization's SITREPs on that map, alongside other information like your facilities, sampling locations, and other responder locations. As I mentioned, this map is outside of any specific event context. So you can think of this as your organization map that displays your organization's facilities, sampling locations, SITREPs, and again, your other responders. So the functionality we just covered there, you can perform from the web application as well, from the website. So you can create and manage these SITREPs on the website. Just make sure you're in the organization space. And on the side navigation, you'll click chemical SITREPs to get to the SITREPs page. The SITREP table that we've got on the website is, of course, more functional than what we've got on the mobile application. So you've got some other functionality at your disposal here. So clicking on any of the column headers will sort the table alphanumerically by that column. So if I wanted to sort it by collected date, time, or identified chemicals, I just click on any of those column headers to do that. Your create new SITREP button, again, that's in the upper right-hand corner. It's all the same fields that you'd see on the mobile application, so no change there. You can configure your visible columns that are in this table, just like with any other data table that's in the site. And then you have the expand details option, again, something that's true of most data tables that are in the site. You can expand details for one or more of the records that are in your table. I mentioned this earlier that your SITREPs can be associated with an event after the fact. So by going into the details, drilling down into the details page for any of your SITREPs, towards the top of that page, you'll see an associate with event button. You can click that and it'll give you a drop-down list of the different events you have access to if you want to associate that organization SITREP with a specific event. And again, like we said earlier, you might use this in a scenario where an organization SITREP has been created in the initial response, but the incident then grows in scale. You create a full-fledged event, and then you want to retroactively associate that original organization SITREP with this newly created event. We're about to segue into the HAZMAT Incident Database. So before I get there, I just wanted to note for you that any of the SITREPs you create can be hidden from the HAZMAT Incident Database. So this means that the SITREP will not be returned in any of the searches that you make in the HAZMAT Incident Database, which will make more sense in just a moment. A couple quick words about event level SITREPs. This is pretty straightforward because, again, the SITREPs within the event context are treated like any other data type. So again, just a note for you that you can create these SITREPs within the bounds of a particular event. So they'll appear as a tile alongside all your other data types. They can be viewed in the collected data list, again, alongside all of the other data records that you create within this event. So with that, we'll transition over to the HAZMAT Incident Database. A few top-level notes. So the HAZMAT Incident Database is designed to give organizations an ability to understand geographic patterns in their responses. And it allows them to share lessons learned and other response information with one another. As we noticed, or as I stated before, you can choose to hide your SITREPs or your lessons learned for that matter from the HAZMAT Incident Database. So we built this capability on the basis of feedback that we got from a few different organizations and kind of the version 1 requirements for ChemResponder. In particular, New York City gave us, a couple of use cases where they said, the health department periodically comes to us and asks us for incident information in particular parts of the city. How many calls have you made, HAZMAT calls have you made to, such and such blocks in Manhattan And they didn't have kind of an easy means to be able to relay that information to the health department. So they wanted us to try to explore if there's some way we could close that capability gap with ChemResponder. That's kind of where the idea came from for this. It's still in its kind of version 1 requirements, so we're interested in feedback that folks have based on what they're seeing here. But you can get to this HAZMAT Incident Database by navigating to the Resources section in ChemResponder. And under the Tools, you'll see the HAZMAT Incident Database. I'll note that this gold star that's next to this screenshot means that it has been favorited. You can favorite whatever resources you like. So that's managed at the user level. So you could choose to favorite the HAZMAT Incident Database or other resources that you're seeing. All of your favorites will appear in that side navigation there, like it shows on screen. Once you're in the HAZMAT Incident Database, it's providing you a search bar with match phrase exactly and match any word options. So I can just do a simple search. In this example, I'll just enter a key phrase, gas leak, and I'll ask it to return the results for me. So your results will display just under the search bar in a table that looks like this. So in this case, it's returning SITREPs, lessons learned, and events that feature the search term I entered. A couple of UI things here. You can choose to view the list in icon format like you're seeing here. You have a list option as well. So if I choose the list option, you'll see the search results in more of a table format like you see. From the list option, you have some of these other sorting options that you can take advantage of. So you can sort it by date or proximity. We'll go back to our search bar. This time I'm going to click Show Advanced. So you can see in that orange header, I'll click that Show Advanced option. And this is going to give me a bunch of other criteria that I can use to narrow down my query. So I'll walk through a few of these. Initially, just with my simple search by default, it was returning SITREPs, lessons learned, and events. So maybe I just want to narrow that down to only get SITREPs. So I'm just going to keep that chemical SITREP data type selected. I'll specify a date range here. So in my example, I'm using June 1 to September 1, 2020. I'm also going to supply criteria for identified chemicals. So I'll enter ammonia. When I enter these criteria, I can enter a search term. I don't have to, though. So in my case, I'm just going to leave that blank. Again, I'm just interested in getting chemical SITREPs from June to beginning of September that in which ammonia was identified. I have another option here to specify a location and a proximity. So again, this goes back to that use case I cited where we were talking with New York City, where they wanted to be able to run some of these queries based on geography. And so you can use this map at the bottom to select a point, or you can enter an address or a lat long. You can drop your PIN if we use the select from map mode like I'm showing here. And then we enter a proximity. So here I'm saying I want to return results that are within 1 mile of the PIN that I'm dropping, and that match the criteria that I showed a moment ago. So that's just kind of an overview of that functionality there. If you have other questions, and certainly if you have feedback for us on some of the features that you're seeing and other things you'd like to see in the future, shoot us an email, support@CBRNResponder.net. Our resource library is, of course, at your disposal, like I showed on screen a little bit earlier.